What if building a workflow felt less like starting from scratch and more like refining a smart first draft? In this topic, we'll look at how Regrello AI can speed configuration, clarify tasks, and support better decisions, while humans stay firmly in control. You've already covered the core pieces: what Regrello AI is, how workflows are modeled, and how routing, approvals, and escalations work. Now we'll connect those ideas and see where AI can help draft configurations, surface insights, and suggest improvements across the workflow. AI-assisted workflow configuration means using AI to translate process requirements into usable workflow pieces: steps, tasks, owners, forms, checklists, summaries, and rules. Instead of building every detail manually, teams get a structured starting point to refine. AI can support both initial design and day-to-day execution, as long as people review the results for accuracy, compliance, and business fit. Think of AI as a supporting layer across the workflow lifecycle, not just a one-time setup tool. In design, it can turn a rough process idea into draft steps, task descriptions, checklists, and forms. During configuration, it can suggest owners, dependencies, due dates, routing rules, and escalation paths. Once work is running, it can summarize progress, highlight pending actions, and surface risks earlier. The control point is review. People validate every recommendation against policy, process rules, and operational reality before it becomes part of the workflow. Workflow drafting often begins with messy inputs: SOPs, meeting notes, exceptions, and stakeholder requests. AI can turn that raw material into a structured first pass by identifying activities, grouping related tasks, suggesting dependencies, and proposing handoffs between roles or teams. The value is speed and consistency. Workflow owners no longer start from a blank page. They start with a draft they can test, correct, and align with policy. One practical use of AI is turning broad process stages into tasks people can actually execute. Instead of a vague instruction like review request, the task can specify the purpose, required inputs, exact action, and completion criteria. That level of detail reduces guessing, repeated questions, and rework. Before the workflow becomes operational, humans should still confirm the terminology, sequence, ownership, and business rules. A checklist turns vague progress into clear evidence. For a supplier contract review, AI can read policies, forms, and standard procedures, then suggest items like verifying the contract version, confirming legal approval, checking pricing terms, and attaching the final signed document. Completion criteria define the threshold for moving forward. Not mostly done, but ready for the next step. The result is stronger consistency and accountability, with human review confirming that each item reflects real operating rules, compliance obligations, and quality expectations. AI can also help route work by looking at what the task is, where it sits in the process, and which teams have handled similar items before. That can reduce delays caused by vague ownership or missed handoffs. Still, a recommendation is not the same as an assignment. Before work moves to procurement, legal, finance, operations, or any other group, the suggestion should be checked against access rights, decision authority, current workload, and business rules. Form design can move faster when AI starts from the process goal. For an expense report, it can suggest dates, amounts, categories, and receipt uploads. For an approval or travel request, it can recommend fields needed to route the work and support a decision. The benefit is consistency. Similar workflows capture similar data, which improves reporting and reduces rework. Designers still need to review each field for access controls, validation rules, retention needs, and reporting alignment before the form goes live. Task activity can become noisy very quickly. Comments, approvals, edits, attachments, and status changes all tell part of the story, but reviewers rarely need every detail at first pass. AI can turn that history into a concise briefing: what changed, what is complete, what is blocked, and what decision is needed next. This is especially useful for managers, approvers, and escalation owners who need context fast. Use the summary to orient yourself, then open the source details before making high-impact decisions. AI is most useful when it turns scattered task context into a concise decision aid. A form summary can surface the values that matter, flag blanks, and call out unusual entries. A document summary can pull forward dates, clauses, obligations, exceptions, or risks. A comment summary can separate real decisions from opinions, concerns, and open questions. The model is convergence. Many content sources become one task-level insight. Governance still matters, especially when content is sensitive, regulated, or confidential. These summaries become even more useful when they turn project details into action signals. Instead of only describing what happened, they can flag what is still open: approvals, missing documents, unanswered questions, and overdue tasks. They can also connect those items to owners, due dates, and possible blockers. That helps teams spot bottlenecks before they become delays. A flagged risk should trigger a quick status check, not blind escalation. I recommendations are valuable because they can surface next steps, owners, and approvals quickly. But speed does not replace judgment. Before accepting a recommendation, validate it against the actual process requirement, the business rules, and the data context it relied on. Ask whether its assumptions are current. Confirm that suggested owners have the right authority and that approvals match compliance expectations. If exceptions exist, handle them deliberately. Treat AI output as a well-formed draft that still requires human review before it becomes action. A strong human-in-the-loop setup starts by deciding where AI can move quickly and where people must step in. Let AI generate workflow drafts, recommendations, or task logic. Then route higher-risk outputs to expert review before anything goes live. Reviewers should adjust weak assumptions, approve only what meets the standard, and record each decision as accepted, changed, or rejected. That record supports accountability and auditability. Ongoing monitoring then turns the process into a learning loop, using real feedback to improve prompts, templates, review rules, and the workflow standard itself. I can speed up workflow configuration by drafting tasks, forms, checklists, owners, and useful summaries. But speed is not the same as readiness. Every recommendation needs human review for context, accuracy, compliance, and fit with real operations. Carry this forward. Effective AI workflows are not just automated. They are usable, trusted, and adopted by the people who rely on them.